Salute, salute, salute. Bow. What it is? What's happening? What it do, man? It's Nocturnal Thoughts, real quick video. Then I'm getting out y'all way. I want to ask y'all a quick question. The topic of the title of this video: can Derrick James coach Errol Spence to a victory in a rematch against Terrence Bud Crawford? Now, some things that I said before this fight that I did not like was the addition of Ryan Garcia, was the addition of Anthony Joshua to the team. Some things that I said I did not like was Derrick James seemed like he was having to divide his attention with too many superstars at a crucial moment with a mega fight on his hands. A fight of that magnitude should have demanded a lot more of Derrick James's attention and his focus. But at the same time, I said they professional, and I gotta let the professionals do what they do. Now, in the aftermath, and we've seen the results, I'm hoping that there's adjustments made going into the rematch. Now we are hearing, or we have heard the rumors, and I still don't know if they are 100% rumors or if they hold some kind of validity or truth. But I've heard the people say that Errol Spence and Derrick James might go their separate ways. I still believe that to be false. But I even heard somebody make a video saying that Errol Spence should link up with Floyd Money Mayweather to train for this fight. I don't know how I would even feel about that combination. Either way, my question is, and leave a comment in the comment below, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Let's talk about some boxing. What do you guys think as far as Derrick James being able to get some redemption? What adjustments do he need to make in his style of coaching and training with Errol Spence? I've even heard some people, or I read comments with some people saying it's not Derrick James, it's not Derrick James, it's Errol Spence. Pretty much like he has not the ability to even do what he would need to do to beat Terrence Bud Crawford. Some people are going to be picking Terrence Bud Crawford to win this fight, especially after the previous fight, regardless of who's training Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. I've seen the criticism of Derrick James from Antonio Tarver. Some I agree with, some I don't. You know, yeah. So when I look at the rematch, when I look at Derrick James, I don't want to take away from all of his accomplishments, but I do feel like he was taken off of his game. He wasn't 100% focused, and he did make some mistakes. Even watching the All Access, when we had that infamous moment with him and Terrence Bud Crawford, and you know, I said at that time, I was more like Terrence Bud Crawford was trying to intimidate Derrick James, and everybody had their opinion on that. In hindsight, it looks like Terrence Bud Crawford once again was a genius in that situation. But I'm talking about even before the situation between Terrence Bud Crawford and Derrick James, I noticed that Derrick James was kind of easily distracted to go even confront the guy that was telling him that he didn't know anything about being an undisputed or training an undisputed champion. Because it seemed like to me, you walking with Errol Spence and you supposed to be going into war, and y'all should be lockstep. And you hear somebody taunting you, and you pivot to go address that situation, and then when you're coming in, then you get, you know what I'm saying, intercepted by Terrence Bud Crawford. But how did you, as you know, the leader, as a general, how are you distracted going into the war to begin with? I just saw that as Derrick James seemed to be off of his A game. And it seemed like even leading up to that fight, the weigh-in and the conference, Derrick James just seemed to be off of, he was not focused. He just seemed like he was out of his normal character. And like I said, once the fight happened the way it happened, and you look back at hindsight, and then you hear even some of the things Derrick James is saying now, when I hear him discussing his exit strategy in the next, whatever, 4 to 5 years, I lost a little bit of confidence in Derrick James being able to tune back in and really focus on everything that he needs to focus on, and drop some of the extra weight that he has on his shoulders. I just never liked the addition of Ryan Garcia, and I never liked the addition of Anthony Joshua. And it was not to disrespect those guys. I just didn't like the attention that they bring and the attention that they take away from who I thought was the original, you know, saying, like, to me, like I said before, Jermell Charlo, Derrick James, and Errol Spence was a perfect team. And when you add in Frank Martin, that made sense. But past that, I just felt like you're taking on too much, and you dividing your attention up too much. And I just don't think that you can have a schedule as professional and efficient as you might try to be. I don't think you can have a schedule where you have people in these time slots when they have a mega fight. I feel like instead of you 2 hours working with this guy, take a break, 2 hours working with this guy, take a break, 2 hours working with this guy, I feel like you should spend 2 hours working with this guy, and then the rest of your day should be focused on what y'all doing the next day. You know, when you go back to the basics, sometimes you got to go back to the basics and remember where you begin. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to start where you begun at. You can't do all this multitasking. You can't do all this, you know, thinking and splitting yourself up and thinking for. I just think that he should have dropped everything and focused completely on that one mission. And if you training somebody else, you training 3 or 4 fighters for 3 or 4 different fights, I just don't see how you could come up with a plan efficient enough to fight and win against Terrence Bud Crawford if at 1 minute of the day, or 1 minute when you sleeping, or 1 minute when you meditating, you thinking about, okay, what does Anthony Joshua has to do when he fights against Dillian White, you know, Robert Helenius? What does Ryan Garcia need to do if he get a fight with Rolly Romero? How does Rolly Romero fight? What does Jermell Charlo, what does Frank Martin need to do when he fight? I don't see how you could be just thinking of all these different things and then really be focused on Terrence Bud Crawford and what Errol Spence needs to do. And that should have been your main focus at that time for that fight of that magnitude. I was a little disappointed, and I lost some confidence in Derrick James' judgment. Like I said, I just chalked it up to him being a professional and knowing how to handle that and juggle the things he needed to do. But I feel like he needs to make an adjustment, some huge adjustments, and re-strategize and reorganize and recalibrate and get redemption. But I'm not going to say I'm 100% confident that Derrick James would be able to do that. Close to 100%, because I got a lot of respect for Derrick James. I got a lot of respect for Errol Spence. But at the same time, when you see a fight go down the way it went down, you have to be real and honest. And I have to say that I had to look at my perception and my perspective of Derrick James had to get altered to where I'm looking at him now saying, I don't lose no respect for Derrick James, but I do lose a little bit of confidence in his ability to not get caught up, not get taken off of his square, and not get somewhat blurred on his vision, or just whatever the opposite of when you're not focused. When you whatever I can't even think of what that's called. When you in focus, everything is laser sharp. But when you get, you know what I'm saying, something that might just take your attention slightly off your target, you miss by a damn mile. So even if you thought you was focused, even if you off by that thing, you might as well be off by a whole mile, because off is off. Missing is missing. Not being on point. If you miss the mark, you miss the mark. It don't matter if you miss the mark by this much or by, you know what I'm saying, missing the mark is missing the mark. And Terrence Bud Crawford and Brian McIntyre and his whole team, they was on point. They was right on the damn point. Sharp and accurate, and everything played to make them look like geniuses and masters and professionals and master planners, and they just look like just a perfect team. And it made Derrick James look like a man that got caught completely off of his game. You know, got caught with your pants down, got caught with your guards down, got protect yourself at all times, and you wasn't protected. You had all kind of flanks and all kind of weak spots that were undressed and revealed and exposed. And I think that Derrick James has the ability to make the adjustments, make the repairs, and get the redemption. Those are my thoughts. But I'm not 100% sure if I think Derrick James could train Errol Spence to be victorious in the rematch. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, man, go ahead and sub up. It's Nocturnal Thoughts, man. I'm gone. Salute, salute, salute.